Okay guys, so as you can see, we have our truck arms underneath the car right now. They're bolted in at the front. We have them supported with these jack stands back here in the rear. This is the left side, or the driver's side. It has our track bar mount on it. You can see these serrated edges. The corresponding mount for the track bar has serrated edges like that locks it in. And when we get ready to hook that up, I'll kind of show you a little bit better shot of that. We have both the truck arms in. You can see probably there's the other one. It's a little bit higher. I got it raised up on the jack stand. I was test fitting the exhaust over there, just kind of making sure that everything was going to clear. I'll slide back under there in a bit and kind of show you how these things attach at the truck arm mount in the center of the car. But first I wanted to show you a little something on the rear end housing. Okay, so we're back over here at our chassis cart, our suspension cart. And one of the cool things I wanted to show you was when we built this cart, we put these pads for the truck arm pad for the rear end housing, have pretty much the same degree of upsweep that the rear end sets in when it's in the car. And the reason we do that is so that we can go ahead and pre-check and pre-fit our pinion angle. If we look at it right here, and it's going to look a little crooked to you probably, but you can see we're at about 5 degrees and a tick. Typically in these test car situations, we like to run somewhere between 6 and 7 degrees. We'll adjust that by putting these lowering / pinion angle blocks in. And as you can see, these they're marked a degree and a half. It's right there. Okay, so we'll slide those in, we'll recheck it, and then we'll see how it is. I'm gonna grab this side and slide it in. I'll be a little tough to do holding the phone at the same time. Tell you what, I'm gonna do this side and then pick you back up on the other side. Okay, well, we're back. I have this side in that was kicking my butt earlier. Trying to do it and hold the phone. This side here, I kind of got it propped up, but you can see I've got my pinion angle / lowering block pad slid in there. And then all we have to do is lift up. Oh, fell right in place. Look at that. Didn't even have to do anything. So now, as you can see, we got to straighten it up a little bit and get it to set right on it. But it is, come on baby. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to come back around here, and through the magic of video, I've actually already checked this, but now we're at about 6.5, 7 degrees, which is good. That's where we want to be. Now, here's my opinion on pinion angle, and I'm sure I'm going to get lots of people that disagree with me, but if you disagree with me, that's fine. There's more than one way to do stuff. But from dirt tracks to super speedways, I've set these things up for everything in those places and in between. To my opinion, let me see if I can explain this properly. Pinion angle will not help you as much as it will hurt you. In other words, there's no magic pinion angle. It's really, honestly, you have to know what the angle of the transmission is when you set this. But from working with these style of cars, these were in houses through the years, we've kind of figured out that 6-7 degrees is just typically about perfect. We have now, once we get it actually in the car, we'll double check it. But that lets us get it this cart lets us get it dialed in pretty close here. So we may have to slide a little thin shim in there or something like that, but we're pretty close. But if it's way off, it can really hurt performance because it puts a bind in the drive line, bind in the U-joints. Worst case scenarios, you can get a pretty nasty vibration, break transmission housings, that kind of thing. That's why I say pinion angle will not help as much as it can hurt. So I hope that makes sense. Okay guys, so we're back into the car. This is the truck arm mount at the front. We're on the driver's side, so you actually have 2 points that you can mount this thing. If you're running the short driver's side truck arm like we are, you put it in this rearmost mounting point. It goes in with a 3/4 bolt. It has 2 little aluminum bushing deals that center up the monoball, and then you put these slugs in it right here that position the truck arm fore and aft. This particular one is a half, which means it's a 1/2 inch off center. Now, we've got both of these truck arms pulled about as far forward as we can get them. This is strictly a short track car for testing, so we really don't, even though you can't move it that much, we really don't have wheelbase rules to worry about and that sort of thing. So with a short track car, you typically want to get it as short as possible as far as the wheelbase. We have about a 1/2 inch of lead in the right side at the slug on the other side. It's kicked back about a 1/2 inch further than this one. That should translate between that and our front lower control arm settings. That should translate into somewhere about an inch of difference from right to left. So that's how those mount up. Okay, so we're back at the back of the car, and we're attaching our rear end housing to our truck arms. We already have our pinion angle shim installed. I've started our U-bolt. This is what actually holds it all together. And these things can spring apart, or come sprung apart, I should say. So that's what the welding clamps are for. Just get yourself a set of welding clamps, squeeze them together. It'll get started. Get a rubber mallet. And as you can see, they fall right in place. And they're held on by a couple of bolts down here on the bottom of the side of the truck arms.